I got a lot of people that care about me, and it's going to disappoint them to hear that I did this.
Words from the man who stole a plane at Sea-Tac. Tonight, family and friends react.
On behalf of the family, we are stunned and heartbroken.
What the hell?
And searching for answers.
This might have been a joyride gone terribly wrong.
And then this guy was circling this, I don't know how many times.
Almost like crash into the water, pull up, come around.
And it was going straight down. And I jumped up and I said, holy I said, that plane's going to crash.
And good evening, I'm Greg Copeland. Tonight we are getting a clearer picture of the theft of a plane from Sea-Tac that later crashed on a small Pierce County island. First, the latest information. Sources say the man who took that plane was 29-year-old Richard Russell. He's from Sumner and worked as a ground service agent for Horizon Air. That plane was in the air for a little more than an hour before crashing onto Ketron Island. The NTSB will focus its efforts at the crash site. It hopes to recover the so-called black boxes soon. Now, as we mentioned, Russell's family and friends held a short news conference today in Ording. King 5's Jenna Hanchard is in Steilacoom and has more on what they have to say.
Well, friends and family made a statement right now about how they are feeling about what happened to Bebo Russell. Those who were closest to him called him Bebo Russell, and here's what they had to say this afternoon.
On behalf of the family, we are stunned and heartbroken. It may seem difficult for those watching at home to believe, but Bebo was a warm, compassionate man. It is impossible to encompass who he was in a press release. He was a faithful husband, a loving son, and a good friend. A childhood friend remarked that Bebo was loved by everyone because he was kind and gentle to each person he met. This is a complete shock to us. We are devastated by these events, and Jesus is truly the only one holding this family together right now. Without him, we would be hopeless. As the voice recordings show, Bebo's intent was not to harm anyone. He was right in saying that there are so many people who have loved him.
Well, family and friends didn't take any questions, but they did thank everyone for their space as well as giving them their prayers during this time. Reporting live outside of Steilacoom, I'm Jenna Hanchard for King 5 News.
Jenna, thank you. Also tonight, new audio of the incident at Sea-Tac Airport. What you're about to hear is someone from air traffic control trying to make contact with Russell before he takes off.
Aircraft on Charlie, lining up runway 16 center, say your call sign. The dash 8 on runway 16 center, say your call sign. The dash 8 on runway 16 center, say your call sign. Who is the dash 8 holding on runway 16 center?
A little bit hard to make out. He's asking who is the dash 8? That's that plane holding on runway 16 center. What we don't know is how the plane got from the parking area out to the runway without anybody noticing. We have requested and we are waiting for the ground control and ramp control communications to see whether there was some sort of failure. By the time air traffic control noticed him, it was likely too late to stop him from taking off. Once he was in the air and began talking with the tower, we get a kind of an idea of his mindset. It's hard to hear at times, but it definitely puts the situation into perspective.
I got a lot of people that care about me, and it's going to disappoint them to hear that I did this. I would like to apologize to each and every one of them. Just a broken guy, got a few screws loose, I guess. Never really knew it until now. I started like 30-something. 100 pounds of fuel.
Rich, you said you're at 2,100 pounds of fuel left?
Yeah, I don't know what the burnout is like on takeoff, but yeah, it burned quite a bit faster than I expected.
There is the runway just off your right side in about a mile. Do you see that? That's McCord Field.
Oh man, those guys will rough me up if I tried landing there. I think I might mess something up there too. I wouldn't want to do that. Hopefully, they probably got anti-aircraft.
No, they don't have any of that stuff. We're just trying to find a place for you to land safely.
Yeah, not quite ready to bring it down just yet, but holy smokes, I gotta stop looking at the fuel because it's going down quick.
Okay, Rich, if you could you start a left-hand turn, and we'll take you down to the southeast, please.
This is probably like jail time for life, huh? I mean, I would hope it is for a guy like me. Okay, very good, thank you.
Right now he's just flying around, and he just needs some help controlling his aircraft.
Very good. Nah, I mean, I don't need that much help. I played some video games before. I would like to figure out how to get this cabin altitude. Like, I know where the box is. I would like to get some, make it pressurized or something, so I'm not so lightheaded. Minimum wage. We'll chalk it up to that. Maybe that'll grease the gears a little bit with the higher up. Damn it, Andrew! People's lives are at stake here.
Now, Rich, don't say stuff like that.
Nah, I told you I don't want to hear no one. I just want you to whisper sweet nothings into my ear.
It wasn't too long after that, the plane went down on Ketron Island. If you're not familiar with it, it's among the smallest of the South Sound Islands with about a dozen homes, maybe 20 residents. It's right off Steilacoom, shares a ferry with Anderson Island to its west. It's only about 1.5 miles long, and at the southern end where the plane hit, it's mostly wooded area with only a couple of homes there. So how was this Horizon Airlines employee able to pull it off? We certainly don't have all the answers just yet, but here's what we do know. The plane heist started here in Cargo Area 1. That's the northeast corner of the runway area. It's basically a parking lot for planes that are out of service for the day. Richard Russell had a security clearance to be in that area. It's how he entered the area and used a pushback tug to turn that plane around toward the runway. How he managed to do the rest is still a bit of a mystery to Horizon Air CEO.
There were some maneuvers that were done that were incredible maneuvers with the aircraft. To our knowledge, he didn't have a pilot's license. So to be honest with you, I mean, commercial aircraft are complex machines. They're not as easy to fly as, say, a Cessna 150. So I don't know how he achieved the experience that he did.
And Richard Russell worked as a ground service agent for 3.5 years. So this is what Sea-Tac Airport looked like last night when the employee took the plane. You can kind of make that out of all the planes there on the ground. The airport came to a ground stop. All inbound planes were diverted to Portland. At least 8 planes had to make an unscheduled landing there. And the planes refueled and took off again right around 1 a.m. And at least one Portland to Seattle flight was delayed. Alaska Airlines CEO Brad Tilden spoke today about what happened.
I want to express our sincere sympathy to his family, his loved ones, and his coworkers. We're working closely with the authorities to help answer the many open questions that they have.
Tilden says the company is working with the FBI to figure out how the Horizon Airline employee was able to steal that plane. So more now about what happened inside the cockpit. During the flight, Richard Russell talks about his state of mind. You heard that a little bit in some of the clips, and his job at Horizon Airlines, and that he made minimum wage. Here's King 5 Susanna Frame with more on that.
About 45 minutes into the erratic flight, Richard Russell is recorded on audio tape mentioning Horizon Airlines and the low wage they pay him.
Minimum wage. We'll chalk it up to that. Maybe that'll grease the gears a little bit with the higher up. Maybe, yeah.
Co-workers we spoke with today say working on the ramp at Horizon is an understaffed, grueling grind where employees aren't treated with respect. Some said the work culture most likely prompted Russell to teach the bosses a lesson. One told me, quote, he was going to show them that they pushed a good guy to his limits.
Hi, I'm Bebo Russell, and I'm a ground service agent. That means I lift a lot of bags.
But on his active social media accounts, Russell isn't venting about poor pay or intolerable working conditions. He posts pictures where he looks proud to be on the tarmac, and he writes about the great airline benefits of free travel with trips to France, Mexico, ski resorts, Ireland, and Alaska.
But it allows me to do some pretty cool things too.
Russell's blog also shows a fascination with aviation in general, posting notes about a personal logo he's creating, including sketches of a ramp worker. airplanes and a specific reference to a Q400, the exact type of plane he stole and crashed.
There's no question minimum wage has been in bitter controversy at Alaska and Horizon Airlines for several years. About 5 years ago, Alaska led the fight against the city of Sea-Tac when they mandated a $15 an hour minimum wage. So currently, some of the workers inside the airport, like fast food workers, are making $15, while some of the people out on the ramp are making just $12. In the newsroom, Susanna Frame, King 5 News.
I mean, nobody had ever heard of Ketron Island until last night.
Well, no matter where you turn now, people are talking about this story. The tranquility of Stillicum was broken by those jets in pursuit of that Q400.
Planes are nothing usually flying by. Planes that are doing loop-de-loops out in front of the ferry dock are a little awkward at best.
That community had a front row seat to a wild night in the South Sound, and now the slew of people from various agencies traveling through there to get to Ketron to try to figure out what exactly happened. So, of course, a lot of questions remain unanswered tonight about this incident. We will continue to dig. You can count on King 5 and King5.com for continuing coverage of that plane theft and crash investigation.